Rapid fire, everything that mattered for fantasy football in the Niners-Rams Thursday Night Football game. Mac Jones is the best backup quarterback in the NFL. If anything, tonight's a reminder that anyone who's plugged into Kyle Shanahan's offense has a chance to succeed. I love 49 pass attempts. Purdy's toe injury could linger, so we could see Mac Jones get another start next week, though he was banged up as well. More of a QB2 if he goes. If you picked up and started Kendrick Bourne, go shout yourself out in the comments right now. You deserve it. If you're like me and picked him up in your 14-team league to be a starter, only to forget and leave him on your bench, then yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to have much value beyond this week. Pearsall is likely back next week. They get 10 days rest. Jake Tonges was a decent fill-in tight end, but George Kittle is likely back next week. If you're sitting pretty, go ahead and target him right now. Christian McCaffrey is a different player than we thought going into this year. I rated him way lower than most experts actually because of the elevated injury risk. I didn't want to spend a first-round pick on that, but he is a different player. I said last week that he's basically a wide receiver who can also get 3 yards per carry, and that's true. But what's interesting is the way that he plays is much more conservative. It seems like he's willingly not putting his body in extreme situations. He's sort of just going forward, falling forward. I think he's actually less of an injury risk because he has consciously made an effort to play a different style. Fewer explosive plays, but a very consistent role in this offense. He's easily a top 5 running back. Honestly, he should be wide receiver eligible. With his volume, he'd be a borderline wide receiver 1 just with that, without any rushing. If you're curious about how I rank all these players, go to my site fansports.com. Up here, I'm updating the rankings every single day for you guys. There are certain players I just don't end up with on my rosters, like McCaffrey, because he's the guy who's an injury risk in the first round of drafts, but I've still won 36% of my leagues the last 20 plus years because of my unique philosophy. My rankings are different than most experts. Let me know what you think of this. Stafford is just a beast. Stafford throws the ball downfield. He makes big plays. He's still borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL, probably more like 15 range in fantasy though. Don't sweat Kyren Williams' goal line fumble that lost the Rams the game that much. He's a captain on the team. He got all the snaps in overtime. He looks like the guy still. Didn't show up in the box score. They actually credited the fumble to Matthew Stafford, but Blake Corum had a fumble that should have been credited to him. He just fumbled a toss. It was a really bad look, honestly. This is Kyren Williams, the backfield. Corum's still an elite handcuff. Pukanacua is the best wide receiver in football. I've had him number 1 on my board for a few weeks now. He's going to stay there as long as he keeps doing this kind of thing. I think I've been underrating Devontae Adams a little bit. He's been basically getting the same number of targets as Pukanacua. They're sort of different targets. There's more 50-50 balls, big play balls, but he is a dependable borderline wide receiver 1. This is the closest thing we have to last year's Bengals team when they had 2 top 10 fantasy wide receivers. Kyren Williams is the 3rd receiver basically on the Rams. Had a lot of solid plays out of the backfield catching the ball, 10 targets, 8 catches, 2 TDs, great game. I think I have to move him into the top 10 running backs at this point. That's it for this game, you guys. I'm going to be breaking down all the games on Sunday and Monday as well in this quick rapid fire format. Thank you guys so much for spending a couple minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate it. My wife and daughter are asleep, so that means I get to go and work on FanSports for a couple hours until I pass out myself. Going to update my rankings. Check it out, fansports.com, adding new features every week. Really appreciate you all. Stay learning. See you in the next one. Peace.